Yes, we have to do, they want us to do the move ups, and that one was an add-on.
Okay. All right, Ms. Giancarlo, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. We're in orange now. Do we have an appearance from the state and the public defender?
Sophia Burial Sanchez for the state.
Mary Ibrahim on behalf of the Public Defender's Office.
What's the position of the state on this case?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, are you speaking in reference to probable cause?
Ms. Giancarlo, yes.
I do believe that there is probable cause in this case, Your Honor. The victim in this case said that he identified Miss Giancarlo driving her vehicle. She then hit the gas and ran him over. There was another witness who also told the officer that he believed that it was intentional, not an accident, and a car is an inherently dangerous vehicle.
I did no such thing. That's ridiculous.
And the public defender, take your time. Take as much time as you need.
Yes, please, the judge.
He's the judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh.
We're ready, Your Honor.
That's ridiculous.
No position.
Okay.
We would just be asking for if she qualifies for direct PTR.
She does not, Your Honor.
And there's no victim here today, I'm assuming?
I want bail.
I don't think so.
Out of here.
Okay.
I'm inclined to set a $2,500 bond. Anything from the state?
Your Honor, the state just asked that there would be no contact with the victim or any witnesses.
Okay. Bond is set at $2,500. No contact with the victim or any witnesses.
I've never seen him before in my life.
You're done.
All right, next up is Sylvester Huntley.
Present, Your Honor.
Shouldn't somebody be talking to me, though, before that?
All right, I do find probable cause in this case. Mr. Huntley, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm inclined to set a bond of $500 with a no return to the scene. Anything from the state?
Your Honor, the state did convey an offer of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return in court costs.
Go ahead. Okay, it's withhold adjudication, credit time served, and court costs,
And no return, Your Honor.
and no return. Okay, Mr. Huntley, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God. Yes.
Okay. Do you understand the plea that you're making?
Yes, sir.
Do you wish to make it?
Yes, sir.
Have you had a chance to discuss it with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, yes, sir.
Okay, I take no offense. And you're making the plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. The plea is accepted. Adjudication withheld, credit time served. Sir, you're not to return to the scene, and the court costs will be reduced to a civil judgment.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'll have the plea form in just a moment.
Oh, wait a minute. My shoe came out. My shoe.
May I approach the court?
Yes. Sir, did you have a chance to read this?
Yes,
You understand it?
yes, sir.
You wish to enter the plea? You wish to enter the plea?
No. Oh,
Do you wish to enter this plea?
yes, sir.
Okay, all right, please accepted. You have 30 days to appeal.
Okay.
All right, next up, we have Mr. Finley. Okay, are you Mr. Jeffrey Finley?
Yes.
Okay, sir, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
Yes.
I do find probable cause for the charge on trespassing on property after being warned. I'm inclined to set a bond of $500 with a no return to the scene. Anything from the state?
Your Honor, the state did convey an offer to resolve this case in adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return, and court costs.
Okay,
I can just have a moment, Your Honor.
take your time.
Judgment.
Your Honor, he'd like to enter a plea of no contest today.
Okay. Sir, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. Is this your plea form?
Yes.
Did you read it?
Yes.
Did you have a chance to review it as much as you'd like?
Yes.
Do you wish to enter the plea?
Yes.
Are you doing that freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand you're giving up your right to a trial?
Yes.
Okay, all right. The court accepts the plea, withhold adjudication, time served, no return to the scene, and court costs reduced to a civil judgment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. All right, next up we have Maria Juan Perez. Yeah, I'll call the interpreter.
Good morning. This is Laura Royo, State Certified Interpreter.
Have you been sworn?
No, I have not.
Okay, do you swear the translation you give from Spanish to English and English to Spanish will be true and accurate to the best of your ability?
Yes, Laura Arroyo, State Certified Interpreter.
Okay, I do find probable cause in this case. I'm inclined to enter a bond of $1,500. Anything from the state?
Your Honor, the state would just ask that there be no contact with the victim and to maintain separate residences.
That'll be done.
Your Honor, if I can just have a moment.
Go ahead.
Has PTR been able to contact the alleged victim in this case?
We have not.
We would just be asking then for a one-time assist with law enforcement officer for my client to be able to obtain her belongings from the house.
That'll be granted. Bond is set at $1,500. No contact with the victim. You're to maintain separate residences. You may return to the residence one time with law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings. Thank you, Ms. Perez.
Sorry, Your Honor, may the interpreter have the name of the defendant, please?
I'm sorry, say that again?
May the interpreter have the name of the defendant, please?
Maria Juan Perez.
Thank you.
And it was, no contact with the maintain separate resident, and go back one time.
Does she not qualify for a direct PTR?
She did not.
Is there an issue?
Just discussing the bond, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Juan Andres Santelici Palizo. Okay, I do find probable cause. I'm inclined to set a bond of $500 with the condition of no drugs or alcohol. Anything from the state?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Anything from council?
Your Honor, this was an affidavit that I did not receive. Can you just tell me what the charges are?
Yes. DUI.
Understood.
You want to take a copy of my affidavit?
No. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Bond is set at $500, no drugs or alcohol. You're done, sir. Merry Christmas. Okay, I believe next we have Mr. Ferris, and we will need an Arabic interpreter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Take your time.
Your Honor, is the Spanish interpreter still required for more defendants, or may she disconnect?
Can we check, there's no witnesses that need an interpreter, are there? Is there, can we ask? Do we have
Do you
a way
need the
communicate
interpreter
out there?
to ask?
Yeah, can somebody ask if any of the witnesses need a Spanish interpreter?
Alguien ahí en el pu-
Okay, Madam Interpreter, you're all done. Thank you for your service today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Merry Christmas.
You too.
translating a proceeding. Should be back.
Can I just ask if does he qualify for direct PTR?
He does, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Interpreter, are you there?
Interpreter,
Yes, hello.
can you please give us your name?
Yes, Twana, Twana, and my ID number is 209728.
Do you swear the translation you give from English to Arabic and Arabic to English will be true and accurate to the best of your ability?
Yes, I do, but one thing, I do not speak every Arabic dialect. It depends on the dialect of the person.
Counsel, have you been able to ascertain whether your client speaks English well enough, at least to tell us whether or not the interpreter hasn't a similar enough dialect to be useful to him?
Arabic, so I can translate.
Oh, you speak Arabic?
Yeah.
Well, that was lucky. Okay. Okay.
هي خصها انا بيدي نرجع انا خصها ما تديرليش زعما ما تفهميش بزاف. ترجع لي ما عنديش مشكل انا
He would like the translator, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. The translator said he doesn't speak every dialect, so if the translator doesn't work for him, please let us know that if it's not sufficient. Okay, I do find probable cause. I'm inclined to put in place direct pretrial release, but with no contact, separate residences.
We need to connect?
Yeah,
Yeah, the interpreter has to do it.
the interpreter's
So
gotta
does he need
translate.
the headphones?
No, he can't, he has to do it over the loudspeaker. Can't
Okay.
use headphone.
Yeah.
So I said,
All right, I'm going to start over. I'll let the interpreter translate. I do find probable cause, and I'm inclined to set direct pretrial release, but with no contact, separate residence from the victim, no return to the scene except for one time to retrieve personal items, and no firearms or weapons.
This is too fast for me. Sorry, did you say you will release him?
All right, let's go statement by statement. I find probable cause.
أنا لقيت سبب.
I'm inclined to set direct pretrial release.
This is too much for me. I need to get you a different interpreter. I cannot do this.
You cannot interpret?
Please. Oh, man. Hello?
Hello, who's this?
Yeah. Sorry, this is court proceeding. I cannot do this. It's just so complex.
Okay.
Need to get you a different interpreter.
حاجه نقول لها.
Okay, he's going to attempt to do
This
this
is
in
Raul.
English, Your
How can
Honor.
I help?
I mean, counsel, I have no way to communicate with him other than through you.
He says if he doesn't understand the English, he will advise. But he does speak some English.
I know you said you speak Arabic, you're his lawyer. Are you confident you're understanding him correctly?
Yes, unless there is an interpreter available.
Okay.
Is this the operator? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, this is the Arabic interpreter?
No, ma'am, I am a customer agent, but I will connect you with an Arabic interpreter.
Okay, we need
please
one
hold.
who can do the court proceeding, okay?
Sure, a legal interpreter. Don't
Okay,
worry.
thank you.
Please hold. You're welcome.
We have no idea how long the interpreter is going to be. I'm inclined to say let's move on to the next person. And when the interpreter comes, all right.
And my client did say he will try to understand in English, and if he doesn't understand, he will advise if he doesn't understand in English.
Any objection from the state?
If the defendant and defense are okay with that, no objection from the state.
I mean, I've got an officer of the court saying she speaks the language, and he's saying that, so I'm going to accept it. All right, let's cut off the interpreter. Counsel, I will give you time to interpret after I speak.
Thank you.
Ma'am? Hello?
Hello? Hi, who's this?
An interpreter?
This is Asya. How may I help you?
This is who?
The interpreter. My name is Asya. How may I help you?
Hi, are you an Arabic interpreter?
Yes, I am.
Great. Would you please give us your name?
Asya, A as an apple, S as in Sam, Y as in yellow, A as in apple.
Okay, we're in a court proceeding, so we're going to swear you in as the interpreter. Do you swear the translation you give from English to Arabic and Arabic to English will be true and accurate to the best of your ability?
Yes.
Okay, I'll start now. I'll try to speak in short sentences. I do find probable cause.
أنا وجدت مبرر. مرحبا.
I'm inclined to set direct pretrial release.
أنا بحاول إني أعمل إفراج قبل المحاكمة.
With the conditions of no contact with the alleged victim and maintain separate residences from the alleged victim.
This is the interpreter, Your Honor. What do you mean by the alleged victim?
The words alleged and the word victim, Madam Interpreter. Do you?
Oh, the alleged.
Yes,
Oh,
alleged.
the alleged. I'm sorry. Okay.
So no contact with the alleged victim and maintain separate residences from the alleged victim.
Thank you. سأصدر أمر بالإفراج بالشرط عدم التواصل على الإطلاق مع الضحية المدعية اللي بتدعي إنه ضحية بالإضافة إلى سكن منفصل أيضا.
As well as no possessing weapons or firearms. Any in the defendant's possession must be surrendered within 24 hours.
بالإضافة إلى عدم حيازة أسلحة وأسلحة نارية وإذا وجدت يجب تسليمها خلال 24 ساعة.
He may return to the residence one time with law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings.
وبإمكانه العودة لجمع ممتلكاته الحاجات اللي عايزها يعني بصحبة شرطة إنفاذ القانون.
Anything from the state?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Anything from counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. There are children that he shares with his wife. He would be requesting that there's a mutual party that he'd be able to at least have contact with his children.
لديه أطفال مشتركين مع زوجته ويطلب أن يرى الأطفال بشكل مشترك يعني.
I'm going to deny that. Thank you, sir.
سأرفض ذلك.
If I can have just a moment, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Your time. We'll use the phone for that as well. That's Miss Charleston, is that Haitian Creole?
The victim also needs Creole.
This is the interpreter. I couldn't hear what was said.
Can you transfer us to a Haitian Creole interpreter?
To a patient what?
Haitian Creole, the language Haitian Creole, please.
I'm afraid I'm not understanding what you mean, Your Honor. I apologize.
We need an interpreter for Haitian Creole, the language Haitian Creole. It's a language.
Oh, Haitian. I'm afraid. Okay. I'm afraid you need to call back because I'm not able to transfer on my end, I'm afraid.
Oh, you can't transfer me back to the operator?
Yeah, you need to call back the
Okay.
operator the same
Okay.
time that you called.
Okay, thank you, Madam Interpreter. You're excused. Thank you for your
Oh,
service. Merry
yeah.
Christmas.
You're very welcome. Have a great day. Thank you for our service. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Counsel, I don't suppose you speak Haitian Creole?
No, Your Honor.
That would be too lucky.
Yes, some Spanish, Arabic, and English. It's the best I can do.
So she may need to speak privately with her client, so how do we?
Yeah.
We will figure it out.
Thank you.
No, we will. Your client has a right to speak with you.
Haitian Creole.
Unless anybody has a better idea, we may have to have the two of you come up near the phone and take turns holding it so that you can just speak in the phone and no one else will be able to hear.
Okay.
Unless anyone has a better idea.
Is it once I put them on speaker, I can't get to the phone. Because once the,
You can't put it back to the phone?
it hang it up. It's not like it's going.
You know, what we could also do is just call them twice and have two interpreters. So we could call from one of these phones here. You can use that for private communication, and we can have this one on the loudspeaker.
Hang it up. It's going.
Okay.
It's almost as if people didn't want to line up to work on Christmas morning. Madam Interpreter, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. We're going to need you in a couple of minutes. We actually have to line up probably a second interpreter. So give us just a minute to figure this out, but please don't go anywhere because it took us a long time to find you, okay?
Sure.
She has to be able to speak to her client privately. So can we call the same interpreter line from another phone and just get two?
I have a phone here.
This is the only phone that does the interpreter. I can't. I can try.
Well, I don't need that one on the loudspeaker. I just need the
Right,
two of them to be able to hold the phone.
I can try. We never did it like this before. I can try, and if it goes through, it do. If it don't,
Was there another way that you got to where the attorney could speak with their client privately?
all they do is just ask the questions over the loudspeaker, and then they do it all.
She has a constitutional right to speak to her lawyer privately.
Your Honor, and if I may, if we want to go forward with the proceeding, and then if she has questions after, then would I be able to answer her questions that way? If she has any questions?
I mean, she can't consent to that if you can't talk to her.
Right.
Um,
Well, if the translator can translate that for me.
Yeah, okay. All right. Let me see here. Is it Miss Charleston?
Charlene.
Okay. You speak Creole? Okay. This is the,
Creole? Yes.
And Your Honor, was the interpreter sworn in?
Madam Interpreter, this is a court proceeding, so we're going to swear you in. Do you swear the translation you give from English to Haitian Creole and from Haitian Creole to English will be true and accurate to the best of your ability?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Charleston, this is the public defender, and I'm going to appoint her to serve as your attorney.
Madame Charleston, ça c'est défense publique là, moi pour aller désigner lui pour lui capable avocat ou.
You have a constitutional right to speak with her privately. So if at any time you have a question that you need to address with your attorney, let us know, and I will figure out how for you to speak with your attorney privately with a translator.
Ou genyen loi constitution pour capable parler avec avocat là en privé. Qu'importe les que ou ta vle adresser avocat là en privé, juste faire moi connaît et puis moi capable quitter parler avec avocat là en privé avec interprète là.
Do you understand?
Vous comprenez?
Oui.
Okay.
Yes.
I find probable cause in this case.
Moi ouais dans cas ça genyen cause qui probable.
We're going to hear from the witness.
Nous pour aller tendre témoin.
Sir, would you please raise your right hand?
Monsieur, est-ce que s'il vous plaît capable lever mes doigts tout?
Sir, if you would, while you're in the box, take your mask off. It'll make it easier for us to hear you, especially with the interpreter.
Si vous capable pendant dans boîte là, ou t'es capable retirer massoir, li capable faire nous plus facile pour nous tendre, spécialement avec interprète là.
Sir, if Ms. Charleston is released today, do you want contact with her?
Monsieur, si Madame Charleston te yo la gen li jodi, est-ce que vous avez besoin de contact avec lui?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm inclined to order no contact.
Moi incliné pour moi recommander pour pas gen aucun contact.
Anything from the state? I'm inclined to order pretrial release and no contact.
Mwen gen inclination pour mwen fè yon commande pour capable lage ou avant jugement sans ou pas faire aucun contact.
Your Honor, I do not believe that the witness has been sworn in yet.
Ah, thank you. Sir, would you please raise your right hand?
Monsieur, est-ce que s'il vous plaît capable lever main droite ou en l'air?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Est-ce que ou sermenté pour dire la vérité, en rien que c'est vérité a aidé ou bon Dieu?
Oui.
If Ms. Charleston is released today, do you want contact with her?
Si Madame Charleston, si yo ta lage li jodi, est-ce qu'on a besoin de contact avec lui?
Non.
Okay. I'm inclined to order pretrial release with no contact and no separate residences and no return to the scene. Anything from the state?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I may.
Let's let the interpreter interpret what I said.
Mwen gen inclination pour mwen lage ou avant jugement sans pas gen aucun contact pour pas retourner dans scène nan. Est-ce que l'État gagne aucune objection? Il pas gagne aucun rien de plus pour lui ajouter. Il dit pas gagne rien, l'État pas ajouter rien.
Okay, counsel?
Sir, do you reside with my client?
Monsieur, est-ce que vous habitez avec client moi?
Oui.
Is it your home?
Est-ce que c'est kay pa ou?
Non. En chambre nou te loué.
No. No, I rent a room.
And does she have belongings there?
Est-ce que li gen bay personnel pa li la?
Oui.
Yes.
Does she also rent a room there?
Est-ce que li même tout c'est yon chambre li loué la tout?
Oui, nan même chambre nou te.
Yes, we were in the same room.
And do you share any children?
Est-ce que ou gen ti moun ensemble?
Non.
No.
I don't have anything further. Thank you.
Anything from the state?
Pas gen rien plus, merci.
Nothing from the state.
Okay. I am inclined to order pretrial release with no contact, separate residences, and no return to the scene, except one time to retrieve any personal belongings. Madam Interpreter, would you interpret that, please?
Sure. Mwen gen inclination pour mwen lage ou avant jugement et pour pas gen aucun contact et pour pas retourner dans scène nan excepté avec une seule exception pour retourner une fois pour aller chercher et bagay privé ou.
Ma'am, would you like to speak with your attorney privately?
Madame, est-ce que t'as aimé parler avec avocat ou là en privé?
Oui.
Okay.
Yes.
We have to make that work. So if we can call from this phone, so there's no way to put that back on the phone? Like from the loudspeaker, we can't? Madam Interpreter, you're still there, right?
Yes, I am.
I mean, it's a phone number that you call, correct?
It's a 1-800 number we call.
But can we call that 1-800 number from just another phone, so we have two? She has a constitutional right to speak to her attorney. It has to happen.
I mean, if it's not gonna work, it'll work. If it don't,
Okay.
I don't know what it's.
Okay, well, let's give it a shot. Thank you for your help. Madam Interpreter, please stay with us.
No, sure, I'll hold.
I appreciate everyone's work this morning. I know it's a little clunky, but we're gonna make sure we do everything properly.
And we appreciate that, Your Honor.
See,
Thank
what
you.
is speakerphone? Because I'm gonna put my ear on this. Okay. Okay.
Here.
Hang on. Okay.
Hang
put
up.
it-
Speaker 9, 1. Welcome to Language Line Solutions. Please enter your 6-digit client ID.
I on this phone. I don't know.
For Spanish, please speak the name of the desired language.
Haitian Creole.
I understood. Haitian Creole. Please enter access code followed by the pound sign.
it come on, you can pick it up. Talk on this,
So, she needs to be able to grasp the phone because she needs to be able to talk into it without the rest of us hearing. What's the situation with her hands? Can she grasp the phone?
Yes.
Okay. I abide by the Constitution.
Please continue to hold.
I appreciate it. Yes. Madam Interpreter, you're still with us, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Great. Please stay there. We'll need you again in just a minute, so please stay there.
Sure.
Please continue to hold for the next available interpreter.
Yes.
Since it's a new.
All right. Is everyone ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you all for your patience. Okay, I am going to order the pretrial release, no contact, separate residences, and no return to the scene. Madam Translator, would you translate that, and then unless council's are, well, translate that, and then I'll ask if there's anything council wants to raise.
Sure. Et moi pour aller vers l'avant, et m'a recommandé pour me laguer nous avant jugement pour pas gagner aucun contact, pour pas retourner dans scène et côté ba la te fait là.
We're good to go, council?
Your Honor, I just need to ask a few questions to the alleged victim at this time.
Go
very
ahead.
Briefly.
Moi besoin poser quelques questions avec victime supposée a.
You requested no contact in this case, which also requires you to live in separate residence.
Ou te mandé pour pas gagner aucun contact dans casa qui vient une obligation pour habiter dans un différent caille.
Oui.
There's another residence that you were anticipated on going to on Monday. Is that correct?
Gagnons l'autre caille ou a anticipé pour aller rester là dans lundi. Est-ce que ça correct?
Attendez bien, non?
I did not hear too well. This is the interpreter. Should I repeat?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Li mande est-ce que li correct ou a anticipé pour aller habiter dans yon l'autre caille lundi?
Oui, d'accord.
Yes, I agree.
And you understand that you cannot go to that residence together?
Ou comprendre que caille ça ou pas ka aller là dans ni ensemble.
And Judge, I just want to clarify, the no return is to the current address. Is that correct?
Well, go ahead, Madam Interpreter.
Oh, forgot.
Moi juste besoin clarifier juge et nan retourner an c'est dans résidence kounya là. Est-ce que ça correct?
It's no return to wherever he's living. So if he's leaving that residence, she can go to that residence if he's not going to live there anymore. But wherever he's living, she cannot live. And she cannot go to wherever he's living. Madam Interpreter?
Là, yo dou pa retourner koto habite kounya là, Mais si kote ou habite kounya la wap kitel, ou pour aller dans l'autre caille, dame nan li même li ka rete koto ye a. Ça veut dire qu'importe côté ou rete, fille a pas ka rete là avec ou.
So here's what I'll do. If the scene might no longer contain either the party's residences, or at least the victim, I'll get rid of the no return to the scene and just make it separate residences and no contact.
Okay.
Et ça mwen capable faire si c'est nan que nous tous les deux a, et nous pas habiter là encore, et victime nan pas gen rien là, moi capable retirer pas retourner seulement mettre pour nous habiter dans différents cailles sans contact.
And I just want to make sure, so she doesn't have any violations, they have got a new home together in which there's a key and payment already made. So if she's allowed to go there, he's allowed to go there, they're not allowed to talk.
Well, she's the one who's gonna have a court order not to be near him.
Okay.
So if he's there, she's the one who, if they're together, she's the one in violation of a court order. So if he's there, she needs to not be there.
Understood,
Moi
Your Honor.
juste besoin assurer que ou pas gen aucune violation contre ou même parce que gen yon caille et puis gen clé, gen paiement qui déjà fait pour nous te aller dans caille. Et ça juge l'a dit c'est que c'est madame nan qui gen yon commande pour que ou pas ensemble avec lui. Ça veut dire qu'importe côté monsieur aye ou même madame ou pas supposé là. Si ou là ou a en violé et commande ça.
Anything else, counsel?
Mm,
Do you have any questions, ma'am?
She does, Your Honor.
Est-ce que vous avez aucune question, madame?
Oui, nouveau cas m'gem malé a c'est moi qui paye, monsieur pas travail. Monsieur pas travail dans moment. C'est moi paye.
Yes, the new house that I'm supposed to go to, I am the one who paid for it because at the moment he's not working. The guy, he's not working. I'm the one who paid for it.
Sir, the new residence, whose name is that? Are you leasing that? Is that something you're renting?
Monsieur, nouveau cas là, en bas qui non moun lié. Est-ce que contrat, c'est ce qui non, et c'est son bagage que ou même ou loué?
Non, son chambre nous te prend, c'est te bail comme là vraiment. Li paye chambre non, nous t'a aller ensemble, même pas de problème pour pas aller avec lui même, lui mettre aller pour compte lui pas de problème ça.
No, it's a room that we had rent. We truly, she's the one who paid the money. We were supposed to go together, but I don't have any problem for her to go on her own and me.
Wait, it's a room you rented?
C'est une chambre où t'es loué?
Oui.
Did you sign a lease?
Yeah. Est-ce que t'es signé un contrat?
Non.
Did she sign a lease?
Est-ce que lui t'es signé un contrat?
Non plus.
So there's no lease?
No.
Pas aucun contrat.
She's gonna have to find a different place to live, counsel.
And I believe he said he doesn't have an issue with her going there and him not going there. If that was clear.
Are you gonna go to the new residence?
Est-ce que vous aller dans nouveau cas là?
Non.
Okay.
Okay, so she can go to the new residence. You don't go to the new residence, 'cause she's gonna be there.
Li ka pa aller dans nouveau cas là ou même pas aller là parce que lui-même la plat.
Oui, d'accord, pas un problème.
Yes, agree, no problem.
Okay, so it's pretrial release, no contact, separate residences.
Et nous laguer ou avant jugement sans contact et puis pour aider dans différents cas.
Is it your stuff?
Yes, ma'am?
L'homme brale, comme nouveau cas m'bral la dedans, c'était là indi m'dege mal la dedans, comme gen cas sa présenté, m'da supposé aller prendre bagay aujourd'hui a, m'bale avec mettre kay la, mais c'est li gen contact mettre kay la, moi pas gen contact li, ça veut dire c'est li pour t'a parler avec mettre kay la, pour dire jeudi a m'a rentrer, m'pa ka rentrer lundi encore. On y a pour nous ka accompagner, m'gal prend.
Madam Interpreter?
Well, since I was supposed to go to the new house on Monday, but the other house is today, I need to go get my staff. Since I do not have the contact of the house owner, and he's the one who has the contact, so if he can contact the house owner to tell them.
All right, the prior residence, she can go one time with law enforcement.
Et kay avant, ou ka pa parler yon seule fois avec la police.
La police a pas accompagné pour bagay yo.
will the police accompany me to go take the thing?
The specifics she can take up downstairs.
Spécifique yo capable di ou en bas.
Comment?
All right, you're done, ma'am. You have a wonderful night, a wonderful day.
Ou fini, madame, passe une bonne journée.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, merci.
No problem. This is the House of the Constitution. One of them. Thank you, Madam Interpreter. We're done. Thank you very much for your service.
Oh, you're welcome, Your Honor. Thank you for.
All right, Lavisa Ings.
Yes, Your Honor.
State, I don't see probable cause in this case.
Your Honor, so the victim in this case, Miss Miller, testified that Miss Ings punched her in the face and began striking her several times in the face, and including her stomach. She claimed that she was pregnant and that Miss Ings knew about the pregnancy. I'm sorry, Your Honor, if you give me 1 second, I can pull up the statute.
Well, no, I saw that testimony, but there were no marks of any kind except for something on her elbow immediately afterwards. So there were conflicting, the victim said that there were conflicting stories, and there were no marks of any kind other than a scratch on the elbow. Somebody got punched in the face repeatedly, they would not have marks
Your
seconds,
Honor,
minutes afterwards.
the state would just argue that the standard for probable cause is pretty low, and because due to the victim's testimony, the state is not required to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. It is just merely required to prove that there is probable cause that this crime did occur. And additionally, the other witness, Lawson, said that they began to wrestle. Just because the state would just argue that just because there were no markings does not mean that there is not probable cause that this crime occurred.
Ma'am, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, counsel.
Defense would just argue that it is a he said, she said type situation. The alleged markings that, or the alleged crime here, there isn't really anything reflecting that that actually happened.
I'm going to ROR this one.
Any conditions with
not
it,
find
Your
this.
Honor?
I'm sorry, counsel?
Any conditions with it?
No. There's no probable cause. All right, Brandon Palmer. All right, this is a previous warrant. Let me see here. This came in with no bond. The prior warrant,
One moment, Your Honor.
state?
Yes, Your Honor, that's the information I have here.
Okay, well then there will be no bond on the prior warrant. Counsel, anything?
Your Honor, he would be entitled to a bond for battery and or alleged battery and alleged kidnap, false imprisonment. Per the statute, he's required to have a bond.
Is kidnapping not a PBL?
No, Your Honor. Well, the false imprisonment part, give me a moment, I'll look up the statute number.
And if not, any idea why the bond, or the warrant came in no bond?
Typically, in battery cases, well, if they're domestic violence, they stay overnight. And some, I don't know, the last couple of days working in Orange County, I've noticed that they're just coming in on zero bonds just to address the judge.
Okay. What's the position of the state?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I just want to clarify that I did read this incorrectly. The state has no objection to you setting a reasonable bond at this time. I do not believe that this is a PBL. And additionally, there is a second case that this defendant is entitled to a bond.
Okay. Do you have a proposed bond? You propose?
Your Honor, I would leave it to the discretion of the court.
Okay, in this case, we've got battery and kidnapping. What is the other case?
It is a driving while license suspended.
Yeah, okay, anything else, counsel, before I set bond? I'm gonna set a bond.
Your Honor, we would just be requesting a reasonable bond. I believe my client can only afford a couple $100 at this time.
False imprisonment. It's gonna be 2,500 on count 1, 2,500 on count 2, and $100 on the driving without a license, or the suspended license. Yeah, no contact with the victim. Maintain separate residences. Does he need to return one time? Do they live together?
Yeah.
He would need a one-time assist with a law enforcement officer.
Okay. One-time assist law enforcement, otherwise no contact, separate residences. And the bonds are 2,500 on counts 1 and 2 each, and 100 on the driving without a license. Sir, you have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. The person with the frankly very charismatic and attractive first name, Joshua Azusinas. All right, no one got the, my first name's Joshua. It was funny to me. All right, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. I do find probable cause. I'm inclined to order direct PTR. Let's hear from the victim. Ma'am, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
What's your name, ma'am?
My name is Alejandra Sanchez.
Do you live with Mr. Azusinas?
Yes.
You can put your hand down.
Yeah.
If he gets out today, do you want him to be able to come home?
No.
Okay. Do you want any contact with him?
No.
Okay. I'm going to order no contact. Anything from the state?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Anything from council?
Is this your home or his home?
I'm leasing the apartment.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm leasing the apartment.
You're the one leasing the apartment? Do you have any children together?
No.
Okay. Nothing further for the witness, Your Honor. We just asked for one-time assist.
Okay. Direct PTR, no contact, separate residences. He has a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal belongings. Merry Christmas, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Anthony Berlangua? How do I say your last name, sir?
Braun.
Oh, okay, it's written all as one name. Where's the lingua part come in?
Oh, it's two last names.
Okay, all right. You go ahead, Mr. Braun?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, Mr. Braun. All right, I do find probable cause in this case. Let's hear from the victim. Would you please raise your right hand, ma'am? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
What's your name, ma'am?
Asia Salvador?
Okay. Do you live with Mr. Braun?
No.
Okay. If he gets out, do you want any contact with him?
Yes.
You do want contact?
Yes.
Has anything like this happened before?
No.
Anything from the state?
Your Honor, at this time, the state would just ask for no contact due to the fact that 2 officers did witness this incident. Nothing further. No questions for the witness.
Anything from counsel?
Your Honor, we would just be asking for no hostile contact. The alleged victim testified that she'd like to continue to have contact with my client, and that there wasn't any history in the past.
There's nothing prior in his record relating to domestic violence?
No.
Not to my understanding, Your Honor. Nothing was presented to me.
State anything, any prior domestic violence I need to know about?
Your Honor, I don't see anything.
All right, no hostile contact, sir. Do you know what that means?
Yes, sir.
Means you cannot touch her, means you cannot push her, means you cannot raise your voice. If you do, you'll be in violation of your conditions of release, and you'll be back here and you won't get out until your trial. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
No hostile contact means nothing hostile. Understood?
Yes, sir.
All right, pretrial release, no hostile contact. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Oh.
I just have a question. It does show for me that he does not qualify for pretrial release. Is that the same information you have?
I have, hold on, get him back in here. Get him back in here.
I just wanted to clarify.
No, he does, he qualifies.
Yeah, I have that he does qualify.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you so much.
Okay, sorry. All right, Mr. Braun, sorry about that. All right, thank you, sir. Have a Merry Christmas. Good luck to you. All right, Brianna Burney. All right, I'm going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney. I do find probable cause in this case for battery domestic violence. We don't have a witness here, do we?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm inclined to order, I see she is eligible for PTR. I'm inclined to order PTR with no contact and separate residence. Is anything from the state?
Your Honor, the state would just ask that you consider also no contact with the children, being that they possibly saw the incident.
Counsel?
Your Honor, that would be a DCF issue, and if DCF determines that they should have no contact, then that would be their decision. We're here on the criminal matter, so we would be asking for contact with the children to remain and a one-time assist for her. It's okay, calm down, calm down.
I'll leave that to DCF. No contact, separate residence with the victim, and one-time return to the residence.
Thank you.
Yeah, direct PTR. One-time return to the residence to retrieve personal belongings with law enforcement. Your attorney can help you arrange that. All right, Chantel, is it Cologne?
Yes, the Cologne.
Okay. I'm going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney. I do find probable cause in this case. Let's hear from the witness. Sir, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. What's your name?
Tiffany Rose Ching.
Say it again.
Tiffany Rose Ching.
Okay. If Miss Cologne gets out today, do you two live together?
Yes.
If she gets out today, do you want her to come home?
Yes.
Has anything like this happened before?
No.
State?
Miss Ching, if something like this did happen again, would you call 911?
Yes.
Are you afraid of Miss Colon?
No, I love her. No.
Were drugs or alcohol involved in this incident?
No.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would be requesting, for the record, no contact, just because this incident did occur so recently, but I have no further questions for the witness.
Your Honor, no questions for the witness, but defense would be asking for no hostile contact. Witness testified that this is an isolated incident and that she desires to have contact with my client. We'd just be asking for no hostile contact at this time.
All right, I'm inclined to set a bond of $1,500. Any problem with that from the state?
No, Your Honor.
I'm gonna make it $1,500, no hostile contact.
Your Honor, she does not qualify for direct PTR?
I don't have this, she does, no.
No, she did not.
And would the court be inclined to lower the bond to something more affordable to Ms. Colon?
I received disability and I had to flee from New York, so like my situation with money, I don't have it.
What's the position from the state?
Your Honor, I would really leave it to the court's discretion.
Your Honor, can I say something? Please?
Go ahead.
She's never had any criminal history. She's a wonderful mother. Her son was actually taken away from her. He went missing in
I'm
November.
object to any further
Hold on,
testimony, Your Honor.
There's no Fifth Amendment issue with him.
I understand.
Or, I'm sorry, her, I'm sorry, I apologize.
No, it's fine.
Go ahead, yeah, with the mask on, it's hard to, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so her son he went missing in November. She's never had any criminal record or anything. So that yesterday night, she was very emotional. It was a mistake. I never pressed any charges or anything. If it is, I dropped all charges. But I'm just asking you, please, if you could just lower the price.
I'll make the bond $1,000, counsel, that's as low as I'm going. No hostile contact. And ma'am, thank you for coming down today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, do you know what, Ms. Cullen, do you know what no hostile contact means? You know what no hostile contact means? That means no hostility whatsoever. You cannot so much as raise your voice, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you break that, it'll be in violation of your conditions of release, and you'll be back here, and you won't be getting out the next time, do you understand, until your trial?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
My question is this. Okay, good. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Good luck to you. All right, is it Ms. Spicer? Okay, Ms. Spicer, I'm going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney. I do find probable cause in this case. What's the state's position as to whether there should be contact with the victim?
Your Honor, the state's position is that there should not be contact with the victim, considering the fact that this happened just about a day ago, and you know, it could be a very tense situation.
Counsel?
We'd be asking for no hostile contact. Looks like this is her husband that's the alleged victim. Why does it say husband? Okay. This is a father-son relationship, so at this time we'd just be asking for no hostile contact. I don't think there was any marks or anything that I recall from the affidavit.
She lives with the victim?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to order no contact on this one. Ma'am, you're going to have to find another place. It's going to be a $1,000 bond, and you're going to have to find another place to stay pending your bond, okay?
Okay.
Your Honor, can I just, for the record, just a one-time assist to get belongings from the home?
One-time return to the residence with law enforcement to retrieve belongings from the home. Other than that, no contact and separate residence from the victim. $1,000 bond.
So do I need to grab this?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Yarouj Nasim.
Good morning.
You, Ms. Nasim?
Yes.
Good morning, Ms. Nasim.
Good morning.
I'm going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney. And I believe I believe we have the husband here as well, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I do find probable cause. I can see she's eligible for PTR. What's the state's position?
Your Honor, the state has no objection to PTR as long as we do impose some conditions,
I mean, the conditions being?
such as no contact. I do believe that because the children witnessed the incident, perhaps no contact with the children, if this court agrees. Additionally, to maintain separate residences.
So, he's gonna be here too. If he is also out and has, issues with the children, somebody's gotta be able to be in contact with the children, right? One of the two of them?
Yes, Your Honor, and typically DCF handles these types of cases if there is an issue with the children and visitation.
Do we know where the children are now, since they're both here?
Yes, with my brother.
I mean, is the state gonna be asking for no contact with the children for the husband too?
Yes, Your Honor, and I do understand the predicament that you're stating. My only concern is that because the children did tell the police officers that they did see the fight, I don't want there to be a conflict with them where they feel like they have to choose one parent over the other. However, I do leave it in this court's discretion if you feel that that is appropriate or inappropriate.
And Your Honor, if I may, just short rebuttal to that. DCF isn't, their department deems those situations as to who should have contact, who should not, who's an aggressor, who's not. I don't believe a criminal court would.
I agree with you, counsel.
Thank you.
$1,000 bond, I'm sorry, direct pretrial release, no hostile contact.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Sedunat? You, Mr. Sedunat? Am I saying your name correctly? Segunat. Okay, Mr. Segunat, good afternoon. I'm going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney. I do find probable cause in this case. I see he qualifies for pretrial release. What's the position of the state?
Your Honor, the state has no objection to pretrial release with the conditions that there be no contact with the victim, maintain separate residences, and no weapons or firearms.
Whenever you're ready, counsel, take your time.
Your Honor, we would just ask PTR, any contact with the alleged victim in this case?
No, we were not able to make contact with them.
Yeah, we would just be asking for a one-time assist. I believe my client's intentions are to be moving out this weekend from the residence.
Okay. It's going to be pretrial release, no contact, separate residence, one-time return with law enforcement. And that's all the conditions.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep. All right. Ms. Shepard? Are you Janice Shepard?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Ms. Shepard. I'm going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney. So I know there's a prior, she's out on bail on another case. I don't see probable cause in this case. State?
Your Honor, the state would just argue that the standard for probable cause is very low. The victim in this case did testify that Ms. Shepard took a pipe and struck him on the wrist. However, the state also would ask if the court did find probable cause that no action be taken on the bond for the felony case.
I find no probable cause in this case, which means I'm not going to touch the prior Not going to touch the prior case? Yeah, ROR on this case, no action on the bond in the other case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, are you Miss Seer? Is it Seer or Seer?
Here.
Seer? Okay, Miss Seer, I'm going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney. I do find probable cause in this case.
Your Honor.
Are you here for this case? Are you here for this case, sir?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll get to you in just a second.
Excuse me.
Okay. Okay, sir, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, sir. If Miss Seer gets out today, do you want to have any contact with her?
Absolutely no, Your Honor. I'm in fear of my life, and I'm concerned about the welfare of our 7-year-old daughter.
Okay, all right. I'm inclined to order no contact. Anything from the state?
Your Honor, I just wanted to clarify, do you live in the same house?
We do. She has actually abandoned for the 3rd time since we've been married. So, no, she hasn't. She has nothing at the home. And I just want to state something. I didn't realize, my daughter and I were at Christmas Mass this morning, and I didn't realize I'd have an opportunity to visit with you prior to this, because there's way more to this case. I know this is very simplified, Your Honor, and I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it.
I don't want to, the things you're talking about really matter, and I know there's a lot going on.
I got you, Your Honor.
And this case will proceed. Today, we're just talking about
I understand, Your Honor.
conditions of bond, and you've made clear you don't want contact with her.
Absolutely not, Your Honor.
Okay. So I think just for, not that stuff doesn't matter, because it's very important, but just for purposes of today, that's really all I need to know, okay?
I understand, Your Honor.
Unless the state has any other questions?
No further questions, Your Honor.
Anything from counsel?
Briefly, do you share a daughter with her?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
I'm not, Your Honor.
Excuse me.
And
Yes, I am stepfather to a 7-year-old,
So you're the-
Nadia Wyatt Seer, that I have all
you're the
documentation
stepfather.
on. Yes, I do.
You don't share the child. It would be her child.
Is her child, but the
Okay.
child's lived with me and with us under a roof for 5 years because biological father's been incarcerated and adoption proceedings are in order, but with
Okay.
COVID and some things going on. So yes, she is my daughter.
Anything else, counsel? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And where is the daughter right now?
Right now, the daughter's with a family member, serving the homeless, and will be returned to her great-grandmother as soon as it's finished.
Her great-grandmother?
My daughter's great-grandmother. Her name is Ola May.
Counsel?
Your Honor. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, I am inclined to order no contact to maintain separate residences. I see she's eligible for pretrial release. Any objection from the state to pretrial release?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay. Direct pretrial release, ma'am, you're going to have to find a separate place to live.
Fine.
And you're to have no contact with that gentleman, do you understand?
And just, Your Honor, I'm just going to put this out there just so that she doesn't have any violation issues with the no contact. The daughter, since the grandma seems to be that mutual person for them, if they're okay communicating with the grandma for just the daughter's sake, if
I'm only entering
visits are allowed.
no contact with him, and that means none. That means no texting, that means no calling, that means don't go see him. No contact of any kind. If you talk to some other family member, that's your business. But there should not be so much as a phone call or a text message or an email between you and him. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So there's no prohibition on talking to the grandmother.
Judge can't order that.
All right, Mr. Zaheer. Good afternoon, Mr. Zaheer. I'm going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney. I see the defendant's eligible for PTR. Any objection from the state?
No objection, Your Honor, as with no hostile contact.
No hostile contact, correct? Anything from counsel?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, direct pretrial release, no hostile contact. Sir, do you know what no hosile contact means?
Just no.
That means no hostile contact at all. It means you can't even raise your voice. Nothing hostile whatsoever. If you do, you'll be in violation of your conditions of release, and you'll be dragged back here. Do you understand? All right, we have Jason Chambers. All right, he's got a prior warrant for failure. Let me see, the prior warrants for possession of methamphetamine. So I'm inclined to revoke that warrant. Anything from the state?
Your Honor, he's just in on a failure to appear. The underlying is the possession of methamphetamine.
Ah, okay, all right. Yeah, understood. Okay, thank you. What's the position of the state in this case?
Your Honor, the state just asks that Mr. Chambers be given a $2,500 bond for the failure to appear.
Okay.
And Judge, we would just be asking for reduction in that bond as my client asked.
He already failed to appear once, counsel. I'm not reducing the bond.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
$2,500 bond. Okay, here's that one. All right. Is it Mr. Cologne or Mr. Cologne Muniz? All right, Mr. Cologne Muniz. I'm going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney. Now, there is a prior bond in this case, correct?
Yes, he's out on ROR. On a previous case.
The prior case was possession of cocaine and drug paraphernalia,
Yes, Your Honor.
and this one is theft.
He's got multiple charges on this new case.
Yeah.
And he has 2 new cases.
I'm inclined to revoke the prior bond. What's the position of the state?
Yes, Your Honor, the state would be asking to revoke 21 CF 8597, the ROR in that case.
Counsel?
Your Honor, we would be asked for it not to be revoked. It's a simple possession case. If I can just have one moment.
Take your time.
He was already out on ROR on his last case. We would just ask that the ROR remain, as his new charges are not, they're just third-degree felonies. I believe.
I am going to revoke the bond. The bond in the prior case is revoked. Bond in this case, count 1 is set at $1,000. Count 2 is set at $500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, Merry Christmas.
He has 2 cases, Your Honor.
Oh.
He's got 16148 and 16149.
Okay, make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, that was 16149 I just set the bond for. Do we have, I don't think I have 16148.
It's
Oh, here it is,
possession of meth and drug paraphernalia.
Okay. Possession of methamphetamine is set at $1,000. Possession of drug paraphernalia is set at $500.
I'm sorry.
Wait, that's the prior case. Yeah, that's not a set case for today. Yeah,
He has a new case as well. The out on bond case is also for his possession of cocaine, drug paraphernalia, and resisting without, that you revoke.
What's the case number on the ROR case?
It's 2021 CF 008597AO.
Okay. Okay, all right. The bond is revoked in that case. In 21 CF 16148, bond is set at $1,000 for count 1, $500 for count 2. And in the 16149, bond is set at $1,000 for count 1, $500 for count 2.
Your Honor,
Yes?
the state would also ask for a no return to Dillard's as well as American Girl and Dick's.
Anything from counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Granted.
Thank you.
No return to Dillard's or American Girl? That's the, it was American Girl?
Yes, Your Honor, and Dick's.
No return to American Girl, Dick's, or Dillard's. Yeah. All right, sir, good luck to you. All right, I have next Brian Jones. Okay. I'm inclined to set bond at a total of $4,500, $1,000 on the first 3 counts and $500 on the last 3 counts. What's the position of the state?
Yes, Your Honor, the state has no objection.
Counsel?
One moment, Your Honor.
Take your time.
Your Honor, my client would just be asking for a bond reduction at this time.
Denied. Bond's going to be $1,000 on counts 1, 2, and 3, 1,000 each. $500 on 4, 5, and 6, $500 each for those counts. Total bond of $4,500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, sir. Good luck to you. Jason Miller?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Miller, I'm going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney. Looks like we have possession of fentanyl and soliciting without a permit. I'm inclined to set bond at $1,000 for count 1 and $100 for count 2. Anything from the state?
No, nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Anything from counsel?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
Okay, bond is set at $1,000 for count 1, $100 for count 2. Merry Christmas, sir. Good luck to you. All right, Derek Robertson. Are you Mr. Robertson?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Robinson. I am going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney.
Your Honor, I did not receive an affidavit for this case.
Okay. You want to look at mine?
If I can approach.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, take your time. Pardon? Yeah, failure to appear. No problem. What's the position of the state on this case?
Your Honor, the state, it believes that for the failure to appear, it should be no bond as it is set at no bond.
Okay.
And the state has no objection to Your Honor setting a reasonable bond for the other offenses.
That's the resisting officer without violence, loitering, and possession of cannabis?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel?
Judge, we would just be asking for a bond on the failure to appear. I believe my client didn't have knowledge of his court date coming up. I'm not sure if he has a history of failing to appear or not, but he would be asking for a bond in that case.
State, is this the first time he's ever failed to appear?
Your Honor, I have here that there have been 10 failure to appears.
Is that true, counsel?
I don't have any documentation demonstrating that.
That's what we have on our face sheet, Your Honor.
All right. No bond on the failure to appear. As to the resisting without violence, bond is set at $500. Loitering or prowling, count 2 set at $100. Possession of cannabis set at $100. No bond on the failure to appear. Good afternoon, sir. Merry Christmas. All right, Ronald Slaughter. It's a very intimidating name. Mr. Slaughter, I'm going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney.
Oh.
All right, I do find probable cause in this case.
Your Honor, I apologize. There's another one that was not sent over to me.
No problem. Counsel, here you go. It happens. You want to take a look at mine?
Let's see.
It's burglary of an occupied dwelling.
Just
Okay. No problem. Don't worry about it. What bond would the state ask for?
Your Honor, the state would leave it to Your Honor's discretion.
I'm gonna set bond at $5,000.
Your Honor, would the court be inclined to reduce that? From briefly reading the affidavit, it seems as though my client may not have had knowledge of the home.
State?
Your Honor, it's the state's position that it's completely within your discretion to set the bond. The state would, however, ask for no contact with the victim and no return to the house.
Counsel, I'll go $3,000, $3,000. No contact with the victim, no return to the scene.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, are you Kevin Thornton? All right, good afternoon, Mr. Thornton. Merry Christmas. I'm going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney. And I see there's a prior bond in this case.
He had 2 prior cases, Your Honor. He's out on bond on 2 cases.
2 cases.
Yes.
What's the position of the state?
Your Honor, the state would be asking to revoke the bond in both of the other cases.
Counsel?
Defense would argue for the bonds not to be revoked. If I can have a moment just to see if the state has even filed charges on those cases.
Take your time. So this is just a translation of it? Anything, counsel?
Your Honor, we would just be asking that his bonds do not be revoked in his prior cases.
All right, so one of the cases was burglary and loitering, burglary of a dwelling. One of them was possession of meth and possession of drug paraphernalia. And then this case is possession of meth, resisting without violence, and trespassing in occupied structure. Is that, have I got all that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I am going to revoke the prior bonds. The bond in case 2021 CF 75AO is revoked. The bond in 2021 CF 009137AO is revoked. In case 2021 CF 016143AO, bond is set at $2,500 for count 1, $500 for count 2, and $100 for count 3. All right, Nikita Ward.
Approaching, Your Honor.
Take your time. Are you Ms. Ward?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Ward, I'm going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney. I do find probable cause in this case for petty theft with 2 prior convictions. I'm inclined to set the bond at $2,000. Anything from the state?
Your Honor, the state is asking for no return to Walmart.
Anything else, anything from council?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, bond is set at $2,000. No return to the Walmart. Do you understand, ma'am?
Your Honor, was a $2,000 bond already given in this case from the warrant, or from the arrest affidavit?
Yes.
Your Honor, when my client was attempting to bond out last night, there appears to be a hold on her. And that she was instructed that that Your Honor would have to lift this hold? I can't see a hold.
It's a VFOSD hold for her state probation. It's a 5-day hold for probation to decide if they're going to violate or not.
Say it again?
It's a VFOSD hold from probation. She's on state probation right now on violent felony offender probation.
Yes.
So it's a 5-day hold for them to make a decision regarding violating or not. She has a 5-day hold from the time she came in, not including holidays and weekends, until that can be lifted.
Okay, I mean, I think I'll still set bond in this case, and when that, if they release the hold, she'll be able to bond out at the end of the 5 days.
Yes. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, bond is set at $2 grand, no return to the scene. Ma'am, that means when you get out, if you do get out, don't go back to that Walmart, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Your Honor, Ashley Welch is mental health.
Mental?
Health, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Reset her for tomorrow?
You can try.
She's up for it.
We'll try. Adam Bryan bonded.
Okay.
Your Honor, could we set bonds in Ms. Welch's case? It seems that the affidavit is set at 0. She's entitled to bonds, and that way, once she's cleared, she'd be able to be released.
Hold on. Well, she's not here.
Defense will waive her appearance.
Does she have a prior issue? Is there a violation of parole issue with Ms. Welch?
Not that I'm aware of.
State?
Your Honor, the only information that I have is that this was an Orange County warrant. I am looking through the packet that I've been given. I don't see anything related to that, Your Honor.
What's the position of the state?
The state has, because defense has waived the appearance, the state has no objection to Your Honor setting a bond.
Yeah, I'll point the PD. All right, I'm going to set for Ms. Welch $2,000 on count 1 and $1,000 on count 2. Correct. Yes, ma'am. All right, Mr. Adam?
He bonded, Your Honor.
Oh, David Adam bonded, okay.
Cassidy.
I have Joseph Cassidy.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, I do find probable cause here. I'm inclined to set the bond at 2,500. What's the position of the state?
It's
Your Honor, the state has no objection.
Counsel?
Your Honor, would the court be inclined to reduce the bond? It is a driving on suspended license
And
case.
he does qualify for PTR, Your Honor.
Oh. Any objection to PTR from the state?
No objection as long as, the condition is that Mr. Cassidy not drive without a valid driver's license.
Okay, sir. I'm going to give you pretrial release. One of the conditions of your release is that you don't drive without a license. If you get pulled over again, you're not just going to be dealing with that offense, you're going to have your pretrial release revoked. You understand?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck to you, sir.
Your
All right, Birch Chandler?
He bonded.
Oh, okay. All right, we have Mr. Finley. Oh, we already dealt with Mr. Finley, didn't we? Jeffrey Hawk? All right. That's a cool name.
Thank you.
All right. I do see that, I'm going to appoint the public defender, Mr. Hawk, to serve as your lawyer.
Yes, sir.
I do see that you have Mr. Hawk has a prior warrant, or a prior bond.
Yes, he's out on bond, Your Honor.
Yeah. What's the position of the state?
Your Honor, at this time, the state would ask to revoke, the bond in 21 CF 8898.
Counsel, both offenses are drug-related. I'm inclined to revoke the bond.
Yeah, Your Honor, I mean, defense would just argue that they are simple possession cases, and we would be asking for the bond not to be revoked.
All right, sir, I'm not going to revoke your bond. If you get picked up again, it is very unlikely the next judge is not going to revoke your bond. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Bond in this case is set at $500 on count 1 and $1,000 on count 2.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, the state also asked for no return to the Sands Motel.
And no, sir, hold on. No return to the Sands Motel, no return to the scene.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, just briefly, what state's basis on the no return?
The
You
petty
know where the
theft.
petty theft occurred?
Oh, understood.
Yeah. All right, James Alexander?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's the state's position in this case?
Your Honor, I do not have a copy of the warrant. However, so the state would defer to whatever bond is written on the warrant, or if it's no bond, that it be no bond. Additionally, the state would ask, I'm sorry, yeah, that's the state's position at this time.
The out-of-county warrant is no bond. Yeah, so he's gonna get sent to Polk County.
Yeah, Your Honor, and my client would like me to request the bond for him. He does have a 6-month-old, and he's a sole provider, and currently having another child.
No bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Are you taking any action on his Orange County case that he's out on bond on?
That's, yeah. You may speak only, but I would highly urge you to speak to your attorney first and make sure that she thinks it's okay.
Your Honor, I believe there's a lot of moving parts in Mr. Alexander's situation. We would be asking that the bond that he's out on, that the court take no action on that. I believe there's some dispute on dates as to when this VOP came in and the different counties he's supposed to report to. So we would ask that no action be taken. He is going to end up getting transported to Polk County, and he can handle things from there.
So you're asking me to take no action on his Orange County case?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
And I believe the violation of probation is out of Polk. You can explain that without facts.
I'm sorry?
I'm on probation over here in Orange County, and I had bonded out for the possession of the firearm, and then like 2 weeks prior is when my officer over here then put in the violation.
So I believe there's a dispute on the time frame on that, so that's why defense would be asking just for no action once he gets to Polk County.
State?
Your Honor, I would leave it to your discretion because there is a discrepancy in the time frame. Whatever this court feels is appropriate.
Bond's going to be set at $2,000 on that charge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So you're revoking the bond and then setting it at 2,000?
Yes. Yeah, Polk County is none. Correct.
Thank you.
Sir, good luck to you.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jimmy Boone?
Sir.
You, Mr. Boone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Boone, I'm going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney. Where's my pen here? All right, there's another out-of-county warrant. What's the position of the state?
Your Honor, the state requests that you follow whatever instructions were given on the warrant. I don't have a copy of the warrant, so if it's no bond, that it be no bond otherwise.
The warrant is no bond. Counsel?
The defense would be requesting a bond in this case.
Lake County.
So that Mr. Boone can be released and handle his case out in Lake County. I don't believe it's a felony of any sort. Looks like it's just a simple misdemeanor.
All right, bond's going to be set at $2,000. All right, sir. Good luck to you. Merry
Thank you, Your
Christmas.
Honor.
That's a DV case, Your Honor. I don't know if you want to set any conditions with it, if you're setting bond for him at a Lake County.
Why don't we bring him back in here? Thank you.
Yep.
Sir, I missed one issue. I'm also going to order no contact with the victim in your domestic violence case. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Hector Alvarez?
He refused.
Oh, okay.
He's refused for the last couple days now. Defense is gonna waive his appearance. There is a PC argument for this case. And I think the affidavit that I was given did not say grand theft. It said burglary of an occupied structure. Is that still the same?
I have grand theft.
Is Hector Alvarez?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. There's
Occupied.
burglary of an occupied theft. There's another paper that has that on it, and possession of methamphetamine.
The PC argument would be on the occupied structure. Multiple areas in the affidavit identified that the structure was unoccupied, so we would be asking at least for a lesser in that situation.
State, it does say unoccupied.
Your Honor, the way that I read the affidavit was that eventually the victim did occupy, and at that point, the offender remained. And pursuant to the statute.
But burglary occurs when he enters.
According to subsection 3A of Florida Statute 810.02, it says dwelling, and there is another person in the dwelling at the time the offender enters or remains. So because the victim remained there, because the offender remained when the victim entered, I would argue that there is still probable cause for this crime.
And Your Honor, we would rebut that because I don't believe he remained. I believe at that point he was being detained. So it wasn't that he just remained in there. There was nobody in this hotel room. It was unoccupied the entire time. And I think when he was finally approached, that should not constitute somebody remaining.
Any idea why he's refusing to come down?
No information, Your Honor.
But just to rebut defense's argument, Your Honor, it says when she went to the room, which she believed to be completely unoccupied, she observed the defendant inside the room, which I interpret as when she was there. How else would she have observed the defendant in the room if she was not also herself in the room? However, because there are kind of some of these questions, I do believe that because the bar for probable cause is so low, that the state has satisfied the probable cause burden in this case.
And defense would just piggyback on that, just stating that this is the manager who's looking for this defendant, this client. He was inside of an unoccupied room, and so the room itself was unoccupied, and if the management is looking into investigating the case, that wouldn't constitute him remaining while that's happening.
You're not making a probable cause argument as to the count 2, are you?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I think counsel is right. I think there's no probable cause on count 1. No PC on count 1. $1,000 bond on count 2.
And he is out on bond on 2 cases?
Oh, well then those are going to be revoked.
Your Honor, additionally, the state would just ask for, in regards to count 2, a no return to the scene.
No return to the scene, and the prior bonds are revoked.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Jalen Helmick.
He also refused.
Okay. We'll reset that for tomorrow. Martyr Hicks. Okay, are you Mr. Hicks?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Hicks, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I'm going to appoint the public defender to serve as your attorney. What's the state's position?
Your Honor, this is an out-of-state warrant, I believe, and then therefore, I believe that it should be no bond so that he could be transported.
No, it's in
No, this is
County warrant.
Yeah, no, this is
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
yeah, no. Marte Hicks.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'll take your time.
So, if Your Honor is inclined to set a bond, then the state has no objection.
Sir, do you have a residence?
Yes, sir.
Where do you live?
1920 Ludlow Lane, Orlando, Florida 32839.
All right, sir. Does the state have a position on the bond?
The state would leave it in Your Honor's discretion.
All right, sir, I'm going to set the bond at $2,500. The condition of the bond is that you register within 48 hours of getting out. Well, today's Saturday, it's a Christmas. You have 4 days from today to register. That means close of business Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By Wednesday close of business, you need to have registered. Do you understand? The offense here is failure to register as a sex offender, right?
Yes, Your Honor, and I believe he's already registered.
I have already registered, Your Honor.
All right, well, I'm still going to impose that condition of the bond. If you're telling the truth that you're registered, then you've already satisfied it.
Yes, sir. It's in
Okay.
if I may, sir, when I went to register, I registered, and the officer there, I informed him and showed him by my phone I have the phone upstairs with evidence in the phone where I have already registered.
Sir, I'm gonna, yeah, you're already getting a bond. Let's talk to your attorney. I can't adjudicate here whether or not you registered. So I'm gonna put as a condition of your bond that you register by Wednesday at 5 PM, okay? If you've already registered, then you will have satisfied that already. If you haven't, and you don't by Wednesday at 5 PM, you'll be violating the conditions of your bond, and if you get picked up, you'll be back here, and you'll have a much harder time getting a bond the next time, you understand?
Sir.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, sir. Merry Christmas. All right, Larry Odoms.
Your Honor, he refused also.
Okay,
The medical?
we'll reset Mr. Odoms.
Your Honor.
Cuevas Preston.
He's medical, Your Honor.
Okay,
He's under quarantine.
and is that the last one?
Your Honor, yes, sir.
Larry Odom is refused.
If I may, on some of these refusal cases,
Yeah, let's go one by one, counsel. Start.
for Ms. Jalen Helmet.
Mr. Preston was medical?
Yes, sir.